Well, hey everyone, the Vickers blog. It's 5 o'clock on a Friday night, and like many of you, I've been ordered by my wife to head to the Bottleshop and pick up a great bottle of wine for tonight. And I'm going to use this opportunity to do a bit of a buyer's guide to heading to the local bottle shop for those who aren't sure what to buy. Okay, so I've arrived, about to get out, about to head in. A couple of things. First tip is if you're in a hurry, it's not a great way to choose a wine, but if you are in a hurry, you don't know your wines, great tip is if you go for a red, go for a Merlot or a Shiraz, or if you see a good quality or something you want to go for, something you like the look of in a Cab Sav, make sure you get a blend of a Cab Sav and a Merlot, or a Cab Sav and a Shiraz. And if you're more of a white drink, you want to get a white, go for a Sauv Blanc. You can't really lose with a Sauv Blanc. Particularly in New Zealand, Sauv Blanc, you're not going to go wrong. Or if you want to go for an Australian Sauv Blanc, look for something that's out of Adelaide Hills, probably. But don't go to a wine shop in a hurry. You never get a great wine. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. You can get a great wine, but you get a better wine if you're not in a hurry. But they're the tips if you're in a hurry. Now, if you're not in a hurry, another tip is to actually go and speak to the proprietor if they're there. If it's a small bottle shop, often, if they're small, you'll sometimes find the owner or the manager there. If it's one of the big chains and it's one of the big stores, particularly on a Friday night like tonight, you'll find there'll be someone there who knows what they're talking about usually. Sometimes you'll run across guys who think they know what they're talking about, but still, if you don't know anything, they're probably going to know a little bit more than you if they work there. Well, here we are, everybody. We're in Dan Murphy's and we're on the hunt on a Friday night for a good bottle of red, and I've run into Hayden here, and Hayden works at Dan Murphy's. How you going, Hayden?
Good, thank you.
That's good. Look, I'm on the hunt for a good wine. I'm sort of doing a blog here today, assuming that we don't know a lot about wine.
Right.
So look, you walk in a shop and it's a bit overwhelming, to be honest. If you don't know a lot about wine, you go, well, where do I start? You can buy wine from $5 right through to $1,000.
Well, we give you plenty of choice.
You sure do. That's an understatement. And for someone who doesn't know a lot about wine, sometimes choice can be your enemy.
Yeah.
So if you were going to...
what sort of wine do you want?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know, do we, if we're new?
That's my first question. What do you like?
Well, I'm assuming I'm a person who doesn't know a lot.
Oh, okay.
So do you have maybe like 5 tips that you might give to someone who's looking for a wine? Or less, or more?
Well, they need to have some sort of feeling about what they like to drink, even if it's a $3.99 wine or a $50 wine.
Okay.
So I can take them in the right direction. But I like to check out that particular price feeling that they might have.
Okay,
and
all right.
I can help them in all of that area.
All right, well, I reckon the average punter is probably looking to spend no more than $20,
Right.
but they could probably talk into spending $25. So let's say they say to you, look, I don't mind a red, and they know they want to spend $20 to $25. What would you do? Where would you take them?
I'd take them to something like this here, which is Damien Sharkey from the Barossa. Now, the reason he's called that Shiraz is that vineyard belonged to his grandfather, that's his father, and that's his vineyard.
Right.
And it's a great wine. In fact, most of the boys at head office think it's worth about $50, and we sell it for $120.
Okay, and you've tried it yourself?
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Okay.
Very good year, 2016.
All right, and it's Barossa Valley.
Yeah, all you need is a little more time, because I practice and preach the fact that any wine, even if you buy a wine at $7, $8, $13,
Yep.
put it away for a year or two, and it's a huge reward in flavour.
Okay, well that's
Really
a good.
works.
There's a good tip. But the average punter is going to want to drink it that night.
Yeah, well, most of them, in answer to my keep it for a while, I say, yeah, I'll keep it till tonight.
That's right. Okay, so look, you've gone to the Barossa. The average punter may not know, but this is really one of the premier wine regions of Australia.
Yeah, it's the best wine region.
And so, do you reckon that's a good tip for a punter, is to say, well, like choose by region and price
Yeah,
point?
although if he's in that don't know much about wine, then he probably doesn't know any of those names like McLaren Vale, Barossa,
That's true.
Langhorne Creek, which is my favourite South Australian area.
Okay.
See, there's a very good wine there too, another Shiraz. Bleasdale's always been one of my favourites.
Yeah.
Under $20.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. All right, that's good. So look, appreciate your time, Hayden. Have you got any other tips for the punters out there on a Friday night coming for a good bottle of wine?
I've always got tips.
All right.
But I like to check out the person and what they're interested in after having a barbecue, and I've got some great wines for $10.
Okay.
Most of them are $9.99.
Okay.
Like I've got a fabulous Shiraz from South Africa.
Okay.
And next to it there's a Chardonnay, which I call my roast chicken wine, because it's a perfect Chardonnay with roast chicken.
Okay.
And it's
Beautiful.
$9.99.
Well, there you go. And that's a pretty good price for a bottle of wine for a
Yeah,
night.
it's excellent.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
that's
there's plenty of good value. There's another one that I recommend, and it's French. This wine here, the Moulin de Gassac, which is the windmill of Gassac. It's an SGM.
right.
Now, most people always say, what the hell's SGM? Shiraz Grenache and Mourvedre. Lovely wine.
Okay.
Great year too, 2016.
Right. There you go.
We've had a very bad year in France, which was last year, 2017.
Right.
Big frost. Then they had a hot summer. In fact, 23 people died in France from the heat.
Is that right?
After, like the people in Bordeaux,
Yeah.
they're not going to bottle
Is that right?
bottle because they lost just about everything.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So what do you say to those who are suspicious of a cheap wine? Because one of the things that people often think is that the more you pay, the better the wine is.
Yeah, I get a few people who are a bit worried about cheap,
Yeah.
and that was one of them. Now those people are actually coming back,
Okay.
and coming back quite often.
Okay. So obviously, sometimes it can be, the more you pay, the better the wine. But it's certainly not always the case, is it?
No, definitely not.
No. Okay. So in your
I've been in the wine and spirit business for 40 years. I was general manager of 2 wholesale wine and spirit companies in Melbourne.
wow.
I've had probably 18 different agencies of Australian wine,
Wow.
and I probably had the best Bordeaux and the best Burgundy in existence.
Wow.
Burgundy from Domaine de la Romani Conti, now $3,000 a bottle.
Wow.
But the Chinese are the customers.
Yeah.
The Chinese are buying everything.
Yeah. That's right.
Although Treasury Penfolds have now fallen into a bit of a hole because they've stocked them with huge amounts of stock,
Okay.
and the bum's fallen out of the business. So, very interesting, the Treasury.
There you go. So what brings you to work at Dan Murphy's from those lofty
I thought I'd
heights?
retire.
Okay.
I'll be 82 in about 4 weeks' time.
82.
I'm hanging in there.
Crikey, I hope I look as good as you at 82,
But
Hayden.
I love what I do. Like, I've had so much experience, and I feel terribly lucky that I don't drink much, because that's a hazard in this business.
I was going to say maybe that's how you got to 82 looking as good. You drank a lot, but no, you're saying it's...
Well, I believe that.
Okay.
But that bottle would take my wife and I a week to empty. We have a glass with a meal.
Right.
Small amounts are good for you.
Yeah, so you enjoy the wine. You're not drinking it to get
wine
drunk.
and food. I match
Yeah.
food all the time. Like, there's 2 bottles of white in the fridge,
Yeah.
and there's 2 different reds on the shelf. So it
Yeah.
depends what I'm eating.
Okay. Mate, are you a local? You live around
Yeah,
here?
Port Macquarie.
Okay. I think I'm going to have to try and do this again with you, Hayden. All right, look, hey, thanks very much for talking to us.
Okay.
And get on, have a look at yourself if you want. It's on the
Yeah,
site.
on the card.
Yeah, good. All right, good on you. Here's a tip for those who've traditionally drunk your classics, your Sauvignon Blancs, your Shirazes, your Merlots. Try a Pinot Noir. Now these guys, I think, are unsung heroes in the Australian wine market. I think there's some really clever winemaking going on in many parts of Australia right now with the Pinot Noir range. Now here's another tip for those who are tempted to purchase a wine based on clever marketing or labels. I was talking to someone about this the other day, and they were saying, look, you know, choose a wine, choose an expensive wine with a good label. You're probably onto something. Choose a cheap wine with a good label, and well, you get what you deserve. This is a great example of a great wine, a Bin 389. Now, I used to drink a lot of this about 15 years ago when it was price pointed about 20 bucks. Now check this out, $73. Okay, here's the thing, it's a great wine, it's still worth buying, but $73, it's got to be a special occasion for me, particularly when you've got so much good wine to choose from. That's a whole lot cheaper, particularly when you're an Australian. Look, you know, for me, Penfolds, Bin 389, when I'm in wealthier company, happy to drink it. But you know what, for me, when something like Hayden represents, says that a bottle that costs $18.99 will wet my palate, I know what I'm choosing. Well, we'll see anyway. I'll review this one and see whether Hayden was right.